Okay, ready? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Gradual Grind. Evan Anderson,
I'm Jonathan Marcel.
and we're gonna give you this quick mini-sode on credit. You can also click the link in the description where we have a full in-depth conversation about credit and the effects of it. So real quick, we're just gonna jump right into it. We're gonna break down the credit score. The credit score has about like 6 main categories that they're judging on: payment history, credit card use, derogatory marks, hard inquiries, credit age, and total accounts. So that's just a real quick overview. Payment history, the first thing I said, that is the most high impact category of them all. You really want to make every single payment. One bad payment will mess your score up. So you really want to stay around like 100% payment history.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Credit.
put a little graphic at the top here. It's gonna
Mhm.
show kind of like the percentages that each thing has. I think
Yeah,
payment history is like 35% of
yeah,
your
yeah,
credit
yeah,
score.
for sure. The next thing is credit card usage, or utilization is the fancy term. Um, so based on your credit limit, so when you apply for a credit card, you'll get a limit, say it's $1,000, and you want to keep that utilization relatively low, from like definitely lower than 30%, but you want to like stay around 10%. This just shows the credit people that you don't really need the credit, but you're also handling it responsibly. Um, I'll go back later and talk about how we can make sure you stay around that target 10%. Also, there's derogatory marks. This comes from pretty much like late payment on bills, and just not paying your bills. Those things can also be removed. We'll circle back to that in a little bit. Hard inquiries. Um, when you go to get a loan, people do hard credit checks on your account, and it's not a good look, because that tells the bank that you are looking to loan money a lot, and so that's just not a good look to have a bunch of inquiries on your account. So you kind of want to, if you're going to do them, you kind of want to do them all in a sequence of matter of days, because the what's actually nice is they'll bunch them all together and just count them as one, as long as they're like towards the same thing. Um, and then the last thing, oh, there's two more. Credit age. So it's not how old you are, but how long you have a history of credit. This is less important, but it's still definitely a factor. And I can say for myself, when applying for credit cards, that has become a factor in determining if I get the card or not. And then lastly is the total number of accounts. This goes from um, how many credit lines you have. Sorry for misspeaking, but you really want to have like more than 10 accounts. And these things include student loans, car payments, um, renting, if you're renting from somewhere, your credit cards, all of that, any like recurring payment that you have. Um, so just circling back to the credit card utilization, because I have to finish that up. So your bank is going to, or whoever you're doing credit with, is going to report once a month how much like you have on that bill for that line of credit. And so you really want to keep it around 10%, like I said. So if you have a credit line of $1,000, you only want to use 100 of those dollars when that bank or whatever goes and pulls that account. So, and then pay it off right after. Like, don't make minimum payments, because in the end, you're going to end up getting hit with that interest. It's going to be like 20-30%.
Yeah. Usually it's like
Um,
16 point. It's either
yeah.
like 16.99 or 17.99.
Well, I just got a Discover card and it's like 20%.
Oh lord.
Yeah.
Oh lord.
But okay, so then lastly, credit score. These are things that the credit score does not consider. It does not consider your age. Your age is not a factor of your credit score. But like I said earlier, the age of your credit does impact your score. So you want to have lengthy credit. There's ways to get around this. They're called authorized users or trade lines. If your parents have good credit, or somebody not even your parents, they don't have to have any relation towards you, but somebody who has good credit, they also sell these online, but be wary of them. Um, someone you know who has good credit can put you as an authorized user on their account. And pretty much this just lets you piggyback off them and you get all of their credit history. Um, so if they, if they have long-term credit, then that'll boost you up as well.
It's important
Um,
though, emphasis on if they have good credit.
yeah,
Don't just
yeah,
trust any of your family members if you know they're
yeah,
not good with money.
yeah. Also, all of this advice that we're giving, we're not telling you to do anything. We're just telling you what we learned. Don't do anything that we're telling you without doing your own research first. Okay, credit score does also not determine your salary. It's not determined by your salary. No matter how much you make, it's not going to affect your credit score. But the last two things that I mentioned, your credit age and your salary, they do come into play when you are going to look for loans and stuff, when people are going to underwrite your account. And underwrite means to someone's going to evaluate and see if you're worthy of getting this credit line.
And it's important to know that your average credit age, it's an average, right?
Mm-hmm.
So meaning if you have a credit card that's open for 10 years and then you get a new one, now that credit age is averaged to 5 years, right?
Yeah.
So if you get a lot of new credit lines, that age is going to decrease and it's going to have a low impact on your credit score. But that's important to note.
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, so payment history, this is just a summary of what I just went over. Payment history, high impact, credit age, total accounts, low impact, credit card utilization, derogatory marks, and hard inquiries, medium impact, but they're on the higher side of that medium. So they're all of them are very important, but this is something you guys need to take into consideration, when you're trying to change your credit.
For sure. And it's important that you guys, I know that there's a current pop culture or so like popular belief that if you can just pay everything off in cash, right? And I agree with that. That's very possible, but then we have to be realistic. How many of us are going to have $400,000 to buy a house with, right? So it's important to be able to play this game and understand what you're doing. And your credit score can affect a lot of different things. Whether you can open a credit card and how much your limit's going to be, whether you can get the loan for a car and what the interest is going to be on that, right? It can be the difference between a 3.2 interest, right? Or, as low as 6% APR or a 17% APR. And those percentages make a huge difference in the grand scheme. You might end up paying tens of thousands of extra dollars on certain things. It could even affect your employment. If you go for a job and they're an employer that decides to check your credit to make sure you're trustworthy with handling money, then if they see you have a bad credit, they have the right to not give you that employment because of that. So I know it's difficult sometimes. It's kind of confusing at times, but it's important that you at least learn the basics and understand the common sense of credit so you can have opportunities open up for you.
Yeah. Hey, well, that's all we got for the minisode. I hope y'all enjoy. If you want more information, click the link in the description where we have a full in-depth conversation about credit and the impacts it can have on your life.
And it's not only just a history lesson, it's our own conversation about how we feel about credit and things that we've encountered. So you'll have some funny stories in that on how bad we were with credit and why we decided to talk about this.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate y'all for watching.
Peace.
Say hi. Say hi, Bubba.
Horrible. You about to drool on your shit? Watch.
She might scream.
She's gonna growl at me.
She does growl. You sleep good, Bubba?